Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Aidan.
I'm Gaynor.
And today we have the OJ case. What most likely happened?
I remember this. I remember the
car chase.
The car chase, when he was going really slow. It wasn't a chase really. They were just staying behind him. He was just driving really, really slow. But that's what I remember.
Yeah, I don't know much about it, to be honest. So looking to find out as much as I can. All I know is that he killed his wife. Was it?
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
He got away with it.
Yeah.
So.
Allegedly, yeah.
Yeah, it was his wife and her friend Ronald that got stabbed.
Right, well, let's see what most likely happened on the OJ case. Let's go.
Occam's razor, OJ Simpson. The killings were extremely brutal, bloody, and fast. Nicole Brown Simpson, 35, and her friend Ron Goldman were murdered on June 12, 1994, in front of Brown Simpson's Brentwood, California condominium, while her two children slept inside. Whoever carried out their murders appeared to go straight for the kill. A passerby discovered the victims on the floor, Brown Simpson at the foot of the courtyard stairs, and Goldman nearby, close to some vegetation. The murders would become one of the most notorious crimes in recent U.S. history, with O.J. Simpson, Nicole Brown Simpson's famous ex-husband and former NFL player turned broadcaster and sometimes actor, becoming the leading suspect. In 1977, Nicole was an 18-year-old waitress, and O.J. was still married to his first wife, whom he divorced in 1979. In 1985, Nicole and O.J. were wed. The couple had two children together, but Nicole confided in friends and relatives that he was abusive to her throughout the years. In 1989, O.J. was arrested and entered a no-contest plea in a domestic abuse case. During the 1989 episode of Domestic Violence, Simpson allegedly kicked and punched Nicole, who reportedly told the authorities, "He's going to kill me." The couple had separated by 1992. In 1993, they tried to reconcile, but it didn't work out. A top investigator said during the so-called trial of the century that O.J. Simpson was the only suspect ever seriously scrutinized for the murders. Simpson was acquitted of the double murders after almost 9 months of testimony. Although Simpson was later held liable for Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman's murders in a civil trial, no other suspects have been identified for the crime of furiously stabbing and slashing her and Goldman. There were no indications of a robbery, a break-in, or any known motivation for the brutal murders. As with all violent crimes or deaths concerning celebrities...
Realistically, from what I've seen so far, it looks like it was him, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If she's saying that he was abusive and stuff, I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, I knew that he was, and I just don't understand men who hit women. It just...
No, I don't either.
No. But even after watching the trial, I was convinced he was, guilty.
Yeah.
Their supporters or fans have a hard time believing that someone they've put up on a pedestal can commit any wrongdoings of such a violent nature. This is the perfect environment for the birth of theories that may help absolve their hero's guilt. The O.J. Simpson case is no different. The alternate theories. O.J.'s son was the killer. The alternative theory that has gained the greatest popularity in the mainstream media is private investigator Bill Deer's opinion that O.J. Simpson's firstborn son, Jason Simpson, was the true killer. Deer presented his conclusions in a BBC broadcast titled O.J. Simpson, The Untold Story, and wrote a book titled O.J. is Guilty, but Not of Murder. Jason murdered his stepmother in a fit of jealous anger after she did not attend a family dinner he had organized. According to this theory, O.J. came later to help his son in covering up the murder. The majority of Deer's evidence is circumstantial, including Jason Simpson's purported history of severe mental illness, which, according to Deer's detractors, was acquired unlawfully, as well as flaws in Jason's official alibi. The Independent and the Huffington Post have covered his notion favorably, or at least not wholly suspiciously, although former Village Voice editor Tony Ortega claims the investigation is full of it. Ortega went on to say, Deer's timeline for that night is a complete farce, and his ideas for how O.J. Simpson's blood ended up at the scene are beyond preposterous. O.J. was a subject of the MK Ultra program. There has never been an event in American history without some internet user attributing it to the Illuminati. In the OJ Simpson case, conspiracy theorists assert that the football player was a subject of the CIA's MK Ultra mind control experiment, a common topic of discussion among those who believe that the world is secretly ruled by a cabal of shadowy elites known as the Illuminati or the New World Order. Project MK Ultra was an illegal human experimentation program designed and carried out by the Central Intelligence Agency of the United States. Its purpose was to develop techniques and identify drugs that could be used to weaken individuals and coerce confessions through brainwashing and psychological torture. Creating zombie assassins to carry out assassinations was also reportedly a project being researched by MK Ultra scientists.
This just sounds absolutely crazy.
I know, yeah, doesn't it?
Brainwashing people into... Yeah.
Is there a movie about this? I think there is, isn't there?
What, the OJ... A movie?
Yeah.
Like OJ?
Just about everything, really.
Yeah,
I think there is.
Yeah. Because he got done for robbery first, didn't he?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, he did a robbery.
I don't actually know much about him, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm sure he did a armed robbery and he got put down for that.
Reportedly a project being researched by MK Ultra scientists. The project was started in 1953, scaled down in 1964 and 1967, and ended in 1973. MK Ultra employed a variety of techniques to manipulate the mental states and brain functions of its subjects, including the covert administration of high doses of psychoactive drugs, notably LSD, and other chemicals, electroshocks, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, isolation, verbal and sexual abuse, and other forms of torture. According to proponents of this idea, at the time of the murders, OJ was under the influence of the Illuminati, who anticipated that his trial would spark a racial war in the United States. If you believe this sounds suspiciously similar to the Manson killings, conspiracy theorists claim that's another sign they're correct. OJ hired a serial killer. In 2012, a theory circulated in the media claiming that the killings were committed by a prolific serial killer. Clay Rogers, the brother of serial killer Glenn Rogers, claimed in the Investigation Discovery documentary, My Brother the Serial Killer, that Glenn confessed to murdering Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. The Rogers family asserts that Glenn phoned home a few weeks before the murder to say he was partying with Nicole, and receipts show that he was working in Los Angeles at the time. They claim that after being convicted of the murder of Tina Marie Cribbs, Rogers informed police that he had been recruited by OJ to steal an expensive set of earrings from Brown's condominium and to kill her if she got in the way. There are reasons to doubt Rogers' assertions. After his arrest, he claimed to have killed up to 70 victims, a claim he subsequently recanted. Moreover, the chronology does not make sense, since Rogers was serving a 6-week prison term at the time of the killings. Drug dealers killed Nicole. In 2011, Simpson's attorney F. Lee Bailey proposed a less dramatic explanation about the killing's true perpetrator. According to a 20,000-word article published on his website, Bailey and the rest of Simpson's defense team rejected a number of possible witnesses who may have testified in Simpson's defense at trial. According to Bailey, the defense was concerned that calling further witnesses might result in a mistrial due to jury attrition. One such witness was Tom Lang, a neighbor who would have testified that he saw Nicole Brown Simpson conversing with 2 unknown men outside her apartment on the night of the killings. Bailey said that he believed the 2 men were drug dealers who mistakenly murdered Brown. He declares that he will die defending Simpson against the allegations brought against him. So long as I am alive, says Bailey, there will be one person, aside from Simpson himself, who knows from the evidence that he did not kill Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman. The murders of Nicole Simpson and Ron Goldman using Occam's razor principle. What is Occam's razor principle? The principle gives precedence to simplicity. Of 2 competing theories, the simpler explanation of an entity is to be preferred. The principle is also expressed as entities are not to be multiplied beyond necessity. Using Occam's razor principles in these gruesome murders gives us the most logical sense of events on that night and points to OJ Simpson as the guilty party. Nicole Brown Simpson dined with her children and family members at the Mezzaluna restaurant in Brentwood about 6:30 p.m. on Sunday, June 12, 1994. Around 8 p.m., they left the restaurant and stopped for ice cream on the way home. At 9:15, one of Nicole's sisters contacted Mezzaluna to inform the restaurant that Nicole's mother had forgotten her glasses there. Ron Goldman, a waiter, volunteered to drop them off with Nicole. At approximately 9:50 p.m., according to the testimony of witnesses at the murder trial, he left the restaurant to return the glasses. The prosecution stated that at about 10:15 p.m., Brown, Simpson, and Goldman were slain. They were stabbed to death outside Nicole Brown Simpson's Brentwood condominium at 880 South Bundy Drive. Simpson's children were asleep inside the house when the murder took place. This timetable, according to the prosecution, would have allowed OJ Simpson...
Do you reckon the kids had any idea about it, or like the first time they found out was like just like on the news or something?
They probably found out when all the police came to the house. If
Yeah,
they
yeah,
were,
that's-
they were
that's
in
the
bed.
point.
They
Yeah,
would
I
have
forgot
probably
about that.
been taken out of the beds, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
to commit the crime and returned to his Brentwood residence, where he was picked up by a limo driver at 11 p.m. Simpson left LA on American Airlines Flight 668 at 11:45 p.m., bound for Chicago. According to the general manager of a Chicago airport hotel, O.J. Simpson arrived around 6:15 a.m. Simpson reportedly informed the manager that he was attending the event in his role as a representative for vehicle rental agency Hertz. The manager said he departed around 8:30 a.m. Back in Los Angeles, Pablo Fenve, Brown Simpson's neighbor, said that he heard Brown Simpson's dog, Cato, whimpering at 10:15 or 10:20 p.m. Stephen Schwab, a resident of Nicole Brown Simpson's neighborhood, testified that while walking his own dog at 10:30 p.m., he saw an Akita breed dog with bloody paws. The dog followed Schwab home and refused to return to where it had been discovered. Sucro Bostepi and Bettina Rasmussen, who were his neighbors, volunteered to house the dog overnight. The pair said that they decided to follow the barking and anxious dog, and just before midnight they found the corpses of Brown Simpson and Goldman outside of Brown Simpson's condominium. The Akita was recognized as Cato, Nicole Brown Simpson's dog. Simpson allegedly returned to Los Angeles after being informed of Nicole Brown Simpson's death by police. When Simpson returned to his mansion in Brentwood, about 2 miles from his ex-wife's residence, police arrived and handcuffed him. The police then transported him to headquarters in downtown Los Angeles to conduct a follow-up investigation and to question him as a potential witness. On the morning of June 17th, police contacted one of Simpson's lawyers, Robert Shapiro, to advise him that Simpson had to surrender at 11 a.m., as Simpson was facing murder charges. When Simpson did not surrender by midday, police notified Shapiro that Simpson had been designated a fugitive and proceeded to a residence where Simpson was staying in the San Fernando Valley to arrest him. By the time they arrived, Simpson had already fled with Al Cowlings, a former college and professional football friend. At 5:51 p.m., Simpson allegedly called 911 from his white Ford Bronco, which Cowling was driving, using his mobile phone. Authorities tracked down the car on the Santa Ana Freeway in Orange County after receiving the call. The authorities started chasing Simpson's automobile at 5:56 p.m. The pursuit through the streets of Los Angeles was seen by people all around the world as it happened. The event was televised live by
police cars
television
are out?
stations, interrupting the 1994 NBA Finals. The event was billed the most famous ride on American shores since Paul Revere's, with an estimated 95 million people watching a live stream of the chase. At around 8 p.m., the pursuit ended in the driveway of O.J. Simpson's Brentwood residence. Simpson remained in the Bronco for some time, but by 8:47 he was in police custody. Simpson's chase, arrest, and trial were among the most extensively reported events in U.S. history. The trial, often referred to as the trial of the century due to its worldwide attention, concluded on October 3, 1995, after 11 months with a judgment of not guilty for the two murders. An estimated 100 million people in the United States tuned in to see or hear the judgment announcement. After Simpson's acquittal, no more arrests or convictions were made in connection with the killings. Although Simpson was found not guilty of the 2 murders, the evidence against him being the perpetrator is staggering. The prosecution produced significant DNA evidence in Simpson's case, including matching bloody footprints, hair follicles, and a glove recovered near Simpson's residence with blood that tested positive as Goldman's. In Simpson's Ford Bronco, blood was discovered near the driver's outside door handle. Other blood samples were found on the dashboard, door, steering wheel, and carpeting inside the vehicle. DNA analysis revealed that a sample of the blood had a combination of Simpson's and the victim's genetic markers. The first alibi given for OJ Simpson was that he slept throughout the murders. Later, his defense provided a number of new alibi claims, including one in which he was hitting golf balls outside his house. Simpson's defense also said that the housekeeper of a neighbor, Rosa Lopez, spotted his automobile parked outside the residence. However, Lopez eventually admitted under cross-examination that she was uncertain as to whether his Bronco was there.
How can you say you saw it and then be uncertain?
I know, right?
That somebody's threatened her.
Do you reckon?
Yeah. Keep your mouth shut or you'll get the same.
Yeah.
No better way to announce "I'm guilty" than to produce a book outlining how you would theoretically commit the crime, and all for financial gain. Simpson said in the book, "If I had actually done it, I would have brought my good gloves that day. I would have thought it was a shame they shrunk when I left them out on the patio, but I would have brought them just the same. They were my lucky gloves, and I would have needed them because I was going to stab my slut of a wife, hypothetically."
Jesus.
In response to
She's called her that after she's already died.
That's what he's put in his book.
Jesus.
Simpson's acquittal on criminal charges, the family of Ron Goldman launched a civil claim against Simpson. On October 23, 1996, the parties gave their opening comments, and on January 16, 1997, they rested their cases. Simpson was found liable for the wrongful death of Goldman, battery against Goldman, and violence against Brown by a civil jury in Santa Monica, California, on February 5, 1997. The court ordered Simpson to pay $33.5 million in damages. In February 1999, Simpson's Heisman Trophy and other items were auctioned off to raise almost $500,000 for the Goldman family. Using Occam's razor principle, OJ Simpson had the motive, the time, and a long history of domestic abuse against Brown. Simpson reportedly assaulted his wife during sex, threw her out of a moving vehicle, and threatened to decapitate her ex-boyfriends, according to journal
Did you say during sex?
Yeah.
What?
entries. The records also indicate instances of verbal abuse, such as Simpson reportedly calling her fat and ordering her to get an abortion throughout her pregnancy. Simpson might have dodged prison for the murder cases, but the public overwhelmingly believes that he is guilty. Using Occam's razor principle asserts this view.
He must be, right?
Yeah.
It's all a bit too why would he get in his car and start driving and not stop for the
That's
police
what I'm saying. If you're innocent, yeah.
Why do you act guilty?
Yeah, I know. I remember watching the whole trial and I remember thinking, if he gets away with this, it's an atrocity. And he did. It was like...
It's crazy, isn't it?
It is.
I didn't know much about it, to be honest.
Yeah. I followed it. It was like I say, it was like almost a year. I followed the whole trial.
I wouldn't have been able to tell you if it was him or if it wasn't, but I think it's pretty obvious. Yeah. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button for us, please. And we'll catch you in the next one.
Bye.
Cheers.